Who else we got from the 7? Black Noir ain't really do shit
No,
except for try to
no.
kill Starlight.
Yeah,
I really thought he was gonna have more of a presence in this season. Maeve,
oh my
she
God,
got
this
her.
nigga later ate an almond joy and was out for the rest of the season. That was his downfall. The seemingly
when that happened, I was like, "What the fuck is she doing?"
That's what I was like. I thought it was like the Age of Ultron shit, like when you calm the Hulk. I thought it was like his Hulk song.
Hey, it's like
almond joy. Yeah,
you're not yourself.
I thought she was gonna sing him a lullaby or some shit. Yeah,
light's getting low.
Right.
That's like what right.
It's
yeah. Getting low.
Light's getting low, buddy.
Hello, world. Welcome back to another episode of Cynicism. I'm Eric.
It's your boy Dante, man, and today we're going to be doing a review on the Amazon original series, The Boys.
Season 2. It's a continuation of some of the events that unfolded in Season 1 with The Boys, who consists, of course, of Huey, Butcher, Mother's Milk, Frenchie, and Kamiko.
He said it and just like bypassed it. Mother's Milk, Kamiko, and
Dog, that's his name. Like, what do you want from me? It follows them still on their quest to take down the 7 and Bot as a whole, exposed to the world like the dirty shit that they've been doing for, the past several decades.
Yeah, right.
What's the name of the drug?
Compound V.
Compound V. I always want to say like V9. That's from the Flash. It's from the Flash though. It's like a shit that gives people speed.
Everybody got a compound.
So
also among them trying to take down Bot, of course they have their own personal bouts with, things that's going on with them personally. Huey and Starlight, they still trying to figure things out. Butcher, he has some interesting developments going on with his wife who was seemingly deceased. Then you got, I'm not saying that. I was going to say Mother's Milk. Yeah. you can say it. Mother's Milk is still, of course, one trying to get back to his family and his daughter and his wife. Frenchie just seemed like he's all over the place.
Let's start with The Boys.
So when we start off this season, Huey is leading the boys instead of Butcher, right? Which was never a great idea, but it wasn't a horrible idea. It's just that he doesn't have the aggression necessary to lead them to what they need to do. It's sad to say, but you need somebody like Butcher to kind of lead them through the murky times.
He's secretly meeting with Starlight, basically gather intel and just to see each other because it's really unsafe for them to be together at this point in time. He's like doing bad. He looks stressed out. Like he looked like he's not sleeping well. He's like staying, with the other guys in this murky dungeon looking basement.
In a crack den. They clearly selling drugs out there, probably selling artillery out there.
Yeah, super sketchy.
I respected the fact that through it all, Huey was still kind of Huey though, even though you saw that he was doing
he's
bad.
like the moral compass of The Boys, man. He's that component that you need so as not to go too far down the wrong
Correct. Path. Even through everything he's been through, it still carries this childlike innocence about him. That's Huey.
Frenchie or
we doing we ain't saying Frenchie?
Okay. All right, man. Okay.
Butcher, nigga.
We ain't fucking with Frenchie, man.
The Butcher coming, nigga.
All right, the Butcher. Last season, we found out Butcher's wife is alive. Not only is she alive, but she ended up having the child by Homelander. We already know how he feels about superpowered individuals. And then on top of that, this is a child she had with another man who is a superhero. So that's a lot to deal with, man.
It's hard for Butcher because he wants to go and rescue his wife and he has the opportunity to do so. But because of his prejudice towards superheroes, he doesn't want her son to come with them. And I also think just because of what you said, the fact that it's another man's child, the circumstances involving his existence altogether, I don't think sits right with him.
I sympathize with him because it's shitty.
Yeah.
Because, obviously it's not the child's fault that he's been brought into this world, but shit.
Him and Huey had conflict earlier in this season, too. I felt like it was a power struggle because
they always have conflict.
But it was more so in the beginning of this season because Huey was really upset that Butcher abandoned them last season. Huey was like, nah, man, you can't just come back into our good graces without addressing anything.
I felt Huey, but at the same time, I was like, man, that man went through some shit.
Yeah.
Bro. You gotta give him a little bit of a pass on
this. Like, fair enough.
Fucked up situation.
Fair enough. But they all did though.
Yeah. Let's talk about Starlight.
Yeah.
Starlight is now kind of playing both sides of the fence. She's putting on a facade that she's still genuinely part of the 7, but she's also helping the boys on the side. Like we said, she's secretly meeting with Huey to give him intel.
Her and Huey are together collectively responsible for releasing the information about what Compound V is to the media.
That didn't go the way I
Them niggas
expected
pivot.
it to.
They pivot nice. Whatever you try to do to sabotage them, it's like they one step ahead of you every time.
Homelander is like, he's kind of like on her, but not, because he doesn't really have evidence, trying to like catch her doing some shit. I remember he approached her like in the elevator.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. He approached her in the
What
elevator.
was the conversation?
He said, "I know that you was the one that released the shit to Buck." Like, I don't know why she kept going back to that tower doing all the shit she was doing.
I thought her mom was gonna get killed
Me
at some
too.
point in this season.
I was happy she didn't, because she's so like
She'd be so fucking oblivious and annoying.
That's the great word for it. She was like, "Yeah, I called your job to tell them we were going to." Like, you wouldn't do that under regular circumstances.
Right. Mom, I told you they killing people, right? Remember that one time I told you they crushed that dude's head? You thought I was fucking around?
Her mom is trying to repair her relationship with Starlight because, of course, the whole thing broke out about Compound V. Seemingly destroyed a big part of Starlight because she was a faith-based character. And I think when she found out that the powers weren't God-given, that it was actually some shit that was scientific and induced in her, she kind of lost her way a little bit. Like, she's a little bit more rogue in this season in terms of just her outlook. And
yeah, she's probably green as well, just like Huey.
She's taking a different turn, though. She's certainly a bit more on the pessimistic side this season.
I was thinking, man, that's a wild thing for a parent to do, bro.
I agree. Because you don't know what they could have done. Exactly. Especially back then. They didn't have, like, this was early on. So you didn't really know the end results of what could happen to these people, man. That shit's crazy. Then I think their relationship suffered so much more because her mom was one of the moms that, like, had her in pageants. And it's like she made her power so much of her identity that when she found out that it wasn't, like, a genuine gift, that it's like her world. She didn't know who she was.
Kamiko had some shit with her.
Yeah, we could talk about her.
Kamiko, or the female.
Is that her name in the graphic novel?
The female.
That's crazy.
I mean, Kamiko is her name, but, you know, she goes by the female, too.
Really?
Of course they don't call her that in the show.
Of course not. Not in this fucking time. What I will say about this character is, like, that actress does a phenomenal job of portraying emotion without talking, because she has no dialogue. She's not deaf. She's a mute.
For some reason, I always, like, expect her to just start randomly talking.
Me too! And it was a couple scenes where she was there, and then you heard a voice. I was like, oh shit, it's her! She talking! It'd be a whole nother person, individual. I was like, oh, damn. And I like the fact that her and Fritchie's starting to be able to communicate together. She's teaching him her version of sign language.
Yeah, what is that relationship?
It's her. Oh, I mean, I thought he was into her. I thought he was trying to holler at her.
She's not into him, right? Or what?
Yeah, I think she is. Yeah.
Okay.
But her brother died. It's like, nigga, fuck sliding in my DMs.
Died
nigga.
brutally, too.
Right. Oh my god, in front of her.
Well, I can't wait.
Did she get like all his stuff on her?
Probably.
All
they
his
like that.
entrails.
They enjoy that, I think.
Yeah, they gonna put some entrails on her.
They're so disgusting.
Yeah, this show is violent.
Entrails.
It is violent, bro.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Homelander. What a piece of shit.
You gotta say that every time after you say his name.
Because every time you think you've seen the worst thing that he's done, he just gets worse.
He got such a hateable face.
Let's start with him and Becca's relationship, if that's what you want to call it. Bot has her staying in his facility. She stays with the son. It's like they never get to leave. Homelander frequently visits them. It's unwanted visits. You know, she's always uncomfortable when he's around.
Absolutely.
He's trying to form a bond with this son that they produce. Every word is like,
yes, like you gotta, bro. He said relationship. I said no. Produce. I'm like no.
He's trying to train him into controlling his powers. Aside from that, he's got a bunch of other weird shit going on with him. He's still murdering criminals like out in the streets. Then he's got this dude in this house. He's got a shape-shifting ability, and he takes on the form of, she was like the head of Vought that Homelander killed in the first season. I can't remember her name, but I know she was played by Elizabeth Shue. He has this shape-shifting dude taking on her form, and he's like kissing and touching all on her and shit. It's such an uncomfortable experience. Then he turned into a Homelander at one point.
That was even more nasty because he looked kind of into it.
Narcissist ain't even the word.
Yeah, Homelander is sick.
You know what's crazy though? They still find a way sometimes in certain scenes and situations to make me empathize with him.
I agree.
How his upbringing.
I agree.
I don't know how they do it, but
I agree.
Man, those moments with his son and he be talking about his past, like damn.
That was crazy.
They really fucked him up.
I felt for him, and I thought that was one of the better conversations this season among any characters.
Yeah.
It was so genuine, and you never really see him that vulnerable. He constantly like in dick mode, you know, so it was just cool to see him let his guard down for once.
So now you got Stormfront, who is the newest addition to the Seven. Wow. As much as a piece of shit that Homelander is, she's like the female equivalent of him. Like, she's even more fucked up once we learn about, you know, her past and how long she's been around and some of the crazy shit she's done. When she's first introduced, she appears to be like a pretty cool person.
I like her.
Very upfront. Seemingly doesn't really put on a facade. She seems very, very real and likable at first.
Yeah.
But then we soon discover she's also a piece of shit.
Yeah.
She has actually been alive for like a long time. She was a former Nazi, and she was also married to the founder of the Vought company, Mr. Vought himself.
Yeah.
Man, what the fuck is she trying to do?
Kill blacks.
Well,
that's one of them.
Not just blacks, but anybody that isn't.
Particularly took a disliking to the blacks in this season.
Asians too. Like, she was very vocal about how she felt about the purity of her race or whatever.
That's really it. I'm joking, but yeah.
I mean, what you said is true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, can you imagine like a racist superhero?
Oh my god,
that's like the worst, worst nightmare.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Oh my god.
Her and Homelander, they actually started a romantic relationship.
Which at first I thought she was just purely just trying to manipulate him, but I mean, she might still be. I don't know, but it seems like she's like really.
What you mean still be? What
you mean?
She ain't got no motives at this point. I can assure you. With her current state, I know wants to leave.
You said, I don't think she's gonna be doing too much manipulating. Gotta manipulate some fucking arms back on her body. Yeah, that bitch got roasted, literally.
Fricasseed in that bitch. So
it
was well done.
Boy, did she deserve it.
Became what she hated, a black person. The irony, you think that was intentional? Like a metaphor? Starlight is heavily involved in a facility that seems to be outside of Vought, that is making superheroes. Like
you're talking about Stormfront.
What did I just
Starlight.
say?
Okay,
I'm sorry. Stormfront.
Too many
Star
Trek, Star Wars.
Seemingly part of this other operation that looks to be a little bit more of a Black Ops type situation where they have a facility and they're testing Compound V on people to try to perfect it, because at this point it's unrefined in adults. Like that's why they induce it when you're a baby, because at this point it's really volatile if you try to give it to adults, and it's no guarantees in the results. You may get powers, you may not. Your powers may be incredibly fucked up.
All right, key moments. We got to talk about the head popping.
Head down, noggin popping. They have Vought seemingly backed into a corner. They got key witnesses. Literally the guy that helped raise Homelander was going to testify at this big, look like what to be like a Supreme Court hearing or something. They're on trial for all the atrocities that they've committed. And man, oh man, heads will roll, boy. Heads start popping in that bitch. That was crazy, bro. Because you don't really know what was happening. First I thought Homelander or Stormfront did something. Then I'm thinking somebody in there shooting. They're not. It's just heads blowing up.
There's a lot going on at that moment, man.
Yeah, it's very chaotic.
Responsible because like the heroes are looking like, what the fuck is going on too? So, well, we find out who it was.
Yeah.
What is she running for? What is she campaigning for? The governor or something? Some kind of political figure.
Yeah.
She was working to try to get the expose the Seven, right?
Yeah.
I wonder what her motives are.
That's what I'm curious about too, because she was a key element in trying to bring down Vought. Obviously, she views them as evil, but she might also view them as competition for her evil agenda. Yeah, I'm curious to see exactly why she's doing the things she's doing.
Let's talk about Stormfront's death.
Oh my God, bro. I did say early on that that boy was going to kill somebody. I knew that in a fit of rage at the end of the season, he was going to have a Gohan moment where he was more powerful than anybody and he was going to kill somebody. I honestly thought it would be Homelander.
Yeah, that means his like heat vision is like more powerful than Homelander.
Absolutely. Well, if not more powerful, probably just more unrefined because he's younger, you know, so he don't know how to control his powers the way that Homelander does. That was the way I interpreted it.
Homelander's son killed Stormfront. It was a very unexpected. I kind of expected Stormfront to be around a little bit longer. I'm assuming she's dead. I mean, look like she died to me.
If she's not dead, her like quality of life is zero. Like she
got the.
She might as well be dead. They should kill her.
The Darth Vader treatment.
Yeah,
if she's still alive.
No,
she was alive.
Right.
In killing Stormfront, he accidentally killed his mother.
Tragedy. And I felt like she wasn't gonna live, but I didn't
I
think
knew
it would
she
be
had
at
to
the.
die.
I didn't feel like it would be at the hands of her son because it was so many other characters
Yeah.
that seemed like they could kill her. I really thought it would be Stormfront.
Yeah,
but
Becca had to die because it's like after the big reveal and everything, it's like, well, how do you keep that dynamic going? Like, what can you do with her? She can't do. She's helpless to do anything if they want to just take the kid. So, I mean, what's she just gonna be worrying? I remember we heard talk of Lamplighter in the previous season. We find out that Lamplighter isn't, the murderous villain that he was portrayed to be in the first season, and it was a lot of elements that played a part in what happened to her children. It was an accidental fire, basically. I want
an accidental fire.
Well, it was an intentional fire, but he didn't know that the children were in the house. Is what I'm saying. Who was he trying to kill?
He was trying to kill her. The woman. What's her name?
I can't remember.
I know what Frenchie be calling her. He be calling her ma'am, but I know that ain't.
Motherfucker said a word. I know he called her woman, but I don't think that's her name. Oh, Mallory.
Mallory, that's it. Because he clearly wants to die. Like he's suicidal.
Boy, does he?
Yeah, absolutely.
He gets his wish. Man, he went out with a blaze.
Yeah.
What did you think about his death?
I really was hoping that they would utilize the character a little bit better than that.
Me too, because I kind of like this character.
But it was in line with where he was. Like, it made sense for his character because, like we say, he was mentally clearly unstable.
I guess it would have been a little cliche for him to die in some sacrificial way or something.
Yeah. Another thing, man, the whole arc with the Deep was funny as hell to me.
What the fuck is the Fresca shit about, man?
I thought it was like some type of like mind control.
Yeah, it
was like, you want a Fresca? Deep is such an unlikable piece of shit, man. Oh my god.
They try to make him give him redeeming qualities. They just don't be working for me.
Yeah, I hate it, because he's such a slimy worm character that would clearly do anything to save his own skin. The funniest scene in here was when his gills were singing.
Them shit gross me out, bro.
It was disgusting. Then they was talking to him. Then they started singing to him. Yeah.
What song were they singing?
You are.
Oh God! Oh, stop!
It's like this PR thing. Well, of course he's like a sexual assaultist, so he's trying to is that not the term?
Can't be.
He's joined this church that is clearly a cult. Dave agreed to get him back in the 7. It's like all this clearly media trained stunts that he's doing. Oh my God, man. He's so whack.
We gotta talk about that one dude in the facility.
Oh my God.
With the dangling. What a fucking power.
What a dick move.
Man, it's just one dude in this facility. They're trying to, inject these adults with Compound V. It's a scene where Mother's Milk, MM, or whatever you want to call him. Laz Alonso, all right? That's what the fuck I'm going to call him. And they behind this door, bro. This one dude, his member wraps around his neck.
His member.
Like, man, I know that ain't what I think it is, bro. Did you have that moment when you...
Hell yeah! I was like, man, is that old boy with the thing? That was disgusting. Yeah, absolutely.
And then that shit probably ain't clean.
Oh, you know it's not. Because then you see the guy, and it's like, oh my God, he looked like a trucker.
That was so gross, man.
I couldn't imagine anything worse. Honestly, man, what type of commercialism could that hero have? They can't put him in no movies. He gonna have to be like a vigilante.
Yeah,
like,
right.
For his
he ain't been incinerated
yet.
He ain't.
We're supposed to be frying Dick Man at 3, apparently today.
Season was okay. I felt like it had some great moments, but overall it was just like,
Me personally, with this season, I thought that they had some good ideas that just never quite materialized. And to see where they kind of went with a lot of these ideas, like we mentioned, the whole thing with Butcher and Becca, it seems like sometimes these shows end their seasons in a way where it's like even they don't know where the direction could go.
I thought after the introduction of like the super villains in the first season, that would be more of a focus in this season. If not the main plot, at least a subplot, but it wasn't even that.
I felt like it was no real conflict overall. Of course, you're going to have the character issues. There was no main issue. It was a lot of smaller issues. Like, it was the politics. It was the thing with Butcher's wife. It was the thing about Stormfront being discovered. Of course, they still on the run. It's like, it's a lot of small things, but they really tried to make Vought, the company, the villain, and them fighting Vought in more of a political way. And maybe that's it. Maybe that they're thinking too far ahead in the future, so they put a lot of elements in here for future seasons or to be developed later.
Like tell a good story for the now.
I agree. If you think too far ahead, then you kind of neglect the present. You got to make this season solid enough that we would even want to watch to see what's going on in the future. And that's kind of how I left off this season. Like, I'm going to watch it because I enjoy these characters and the concept, but I'm not excited at all.
I'm not as excited as I was.
No, not even remotely, because I don't know what the hell it would be about. The way this season ended, it felt so final. Homelander seemingly defeated. That nigga beating off on a gargoyle. Stormfront destroyed. It's like the main people that would be the adversaries are gone. So are they trying to make this new Congresswoman lady the new villain? But we don't know shit about her.
She's gonna have to be. I mean, she's the only real threat that I even see right now.
To say all of that, I did enjoy the characters. I think that's where this show is just so great. I always enjoy watching them interact. They so funny. They so real. They so just, I don't know, they so downtrodden, man. You just constantly want them to catch a break. So I watched the show really more so for that underdog factor. I didn't hate this story. I really had that Game of Thrones effect where I didn't know that I didn't like this season that much until it started to end.
Yeah.
And I started to see that a lot of the storylines weren't going anywhere. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started to be like, oh man, like I was enjoying the ride up until I saw where they was trying to drop me off at. Then I was like, oh nigga, this is 7-Eleven. I was going to the Ritz-Carlton.
I feel like I'm always going to want to watch it to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I never felt like I was just waiting for it to end. So that's always a positive. Like I always look forward to seeing the next episode because it's an interesting show. I just wanted more.
Do you think the fact that this season wasn't bingeable, do you feel like that played a role in your experience?
Yeah, I think it made it worse because you couldn't binge it because it's like you kept waiting for something to happen. Then you had to wait each week and then nothing was happening.
I was just about to say that.
So I think it might have made it worse that you couldn't watch it all like in a sitting.
If the show is not refined well, then you really just creating this anticipation because that's what non-bingeability does. Like that factor where you gotta wait the next week to see something. It's like your anticipation builds more because they left you hanging. So because of that, you really gotta deliver. And because these episodes weren't bad, but they didn't deliver on, I feel like the anticipation that they built, it kind of left you even more disappointed.
All right, so overall, it was decent. I kind of wish they would have taken some different routes and paths with some of the characters and some of the events. It was a decent watch.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm gonna give The Boys season 2 a 7 out of 10.
I thought this was a cool season. It was probably good. You know what I'm saying? To say, I don't feel like it was below good. And the reason that it was saved is because these characters are just great. It's always a watchable show. This concept is just so interesting because
that's what it is.
The whole thing about superheroes just being these pieces of shit, it just feels so real. You know, and this show does a great job of doing that, man. Making this supernatural world feel so modern and realistic. I'm interested to see where it goes from here, but I'm not super enthusiastic about it. Overall, I'm going to give The Boys a 7 as well. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth checking out. I'm certainly more partial to season 1 than season 2, even though season 2 isn't horrible.
That was our review of season 2 of the Amazon original The Boys. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our channel. And if you have any suggestions for any movies or shows or trailers that you'd like us to review, drop a comment below.
Absolutely. And it's the month of Halloween, so don't forget that we are doing horror movie reviews and some horror movie classics. If y'all got some, please drop that comment below. And if you guys have seen The Boys, please let us know what you thought of this season. How'd you feel about the storyline, the character development? We want to know all about all of that.
Yes, give us the deets. All right, appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Peace.